Hello and welcome to another powerful Genuine Healing Group SFT tapping event. This one is called Justice for All. We are recording this on September the 18th, which for those that are not living under a rock was the day that Judge Mashan was meant to pass sentence on the Donald, or just Donald, on his 34 felony convictions. Of course, that's been pushed off till after the election, but we're going to keep doing this tapping event anyway. It's called Justice for All. I'm Marvin Schneider.
And I'm Jen Ward. Hi, everybody. Welcome.
Hi. Look, at one level, it's a little bit disappointing that Donald's due Justice Day has been pushed back. But Jen, you have a different perspective on that. Do you want to share the audience with your new perspective?
Yeah, so the consensus is that if he would have sentenced now, he would have given him the accommodations of someone who's running for presidency. He would have maybe put a collar on him, an anklet on him, and let him be at Mar-a-Lago. But because he's waiting till the election is over, I think he's going to throw the book at him and give him time in a prison cell, which is what everybody wants to see happen, who's on the side of justice. So,
Hot on the heels of the idea of justice is the idea of self-accountability or accountability, and accountability and self-accountability operates best when a good chunk of the populace is operating from a higher vantage point, at a higher level of consciousness. And so that's why we do a lot of taps around, raising the consciousness of humanity. And because you got two options here. You've got self-accountability, which is self-justice, or you've got enforced justice. And so, they operate symbiotically. And for those from time to time that, for one reason or another, don't seem to be able to hold themselves accountable, then there does unfortunately need to be a system in the operation of the collective that enforces a degree of accountability so that the norms and mores of the society get preserved.
absolutely. But here's the thing. I think the whole justice system from top to bottom needs refurbishing, needs to be actually broken apart and dismantled and started again. Because here's the thing, justice doesn't seem to be spread evenly throughout all of humanity. So, so it's frustrating for people who are at the lower echelon to try to get justice, and then they have to go against their own inner compass to protect themselves from the justice system. So what the taps are doing today is starting to break down the whole justice system so the people at the top echelon get their comeuppance that they have been avoiding. Because it's like, let's face it, if some of the crimes that the white collar people have been doing were done by regular people, those regular people are sitting in jail waiting for their trial or whatever without any compassion at all. The fact that so many white collar crimes can get off and just live their life scot free and figure out another way to get one up on the system, it's just wrong.
So there's actually quite a lot to unpack in what you just said, Jen. So at one level, you were saying that the whole justice system needs to be reconstituted from the ground up, or top down, if you like. I agree with that. And a lot of what we're doing here in Igniting Universal Empowerment is setting the foundation to reimagine, reconstitute pretty much all of the major political governance, economic systems that regulate the operation of, the broader collective 8 billion people, because, we do actually choose to incarnate on this, earth plane for the purposes of having a physical existence. That means that we actually are part of a physical collective, and we actually do need to operate as a collective, and they do need rules, regulations, laws, systems and processes, and a lot of the systems and processes at the moment are constructed around very low level of consciousness. So that's what the whole Declaration of Universal Interdependence document is all about. And then the idea is that over time, uh, a group of people who are willing to take up the mantle will begin the real work of reconstituting the human experience from the ground up. Now, the justice system is one of those. So, yes, there is a lot of work to be done on that. And then you also mentioned the idea of white collar crime versus regular crime. Don't even get me going on that. The whole global financial crisis was precipitated by a whole bunch of white collar crime, and the orchestrators of that crisis, as much as it impacted tens, if not hundreds of millions of people around the world in a very negative way, those people have, for the most part, never been held to account. Houston, there is a problem.
Yeah, so here's the thing. If people would just ascribe to spiritual law and allow the law of karma to work, it would be much easier to just dispense with all these cliques and all these entitlements. Because here's what, and people get the law of karma wrong where they say karma is a bitch and karma is right around the corner. It's not, it's detached, it's not emotional, there's not revenge in karma. Think of the concept of karma as energy. So humanity is this spread of energy, like peanut butter. Think you want to spread the peanut butter evenly on the whole piece of toast, and humanity is the toast. Well, then you get these groups who are collecting their big lumps of energy, and they're collecting it and they're taking it so the energy is spread more thin for other people. And this energy involves their joy, love, abundance, freedom, health, success, security, companionship, creativity. So when others take their energy and withhold it from others, when they relinquish the ego and relinquish what they're doing, they can just surrender to what will happen, and the energy will start to spread more evenly through humanity. I know it sounds really childlike to say it like that, but in energy, that's actually what needs to happen. Because think about it, when someone does something wrong, and they know they've done something wrong, instead of just dealing with it because we have a perverse legal system, they'll try to hide their transactions. They'll try to hide away from it, and that hiding away from consequences takes up so much more energy than what you would relinquish in just coming clean. And that's if the penal system was fair. Does that make sense?
Yes, and again, there's so much to unpack in what you've just said. Let me unpack two elements. One is the idea of karma being the spreading of energy, and so it's just re-spreading energy against correcting the energy that some people have taken, hoarded at the expense of others, and just sort of pushing it more around. So it's emotional. It is not. There's no personality attached to karma. That's that bit. The other thing that you were touching on was the idea of a justice system being fair, and that kind of makes a lot of sense, but also compassionate. And we're going to deal with that concept as well in this session. I should say that we have in the studio with us our regular crowd that participate in these tapping events. Thank you very much for joining us again. We've got our friends out in nature, which is always good to see. We love the rolling hills in the background. Beautiful part of the country that you're joining us from. Thank you for being here with us. What else do you want to say, Jen?
I think this is really important. I think this is the nuts and bolts of what we do. Everything we do is important, but when we can help the individuals connect more to the inner compass, where let's face it, people get this kind of unky feeling when they say the wrong thing or when they hurt someone, and those who are tapped into their inner compass kind of get that feeling of being off and feeling bad about it. If there was more communications around interactions, that could work its way out. But these taps are helping the individual tap more into that inner compass and have the brazenness to empower themselves. Now, right now, they're not empowering themselves because everyone in power, these big billionaires or tech companies or whatever, have a bigger slice of the pie. But once those tech companies energetically and those billionaires energetically need to be like broken down so everyone has a piece of the pie.
The interesting thing is that when you say that, a I'm going to say a majority of Americans will probably have the immediate reaction that sounds like, a socialist or a Marxist agenda, where you basically, spread, some people, everyone does the work, spreads it all around. What I'd be really interested in understanding a little bit is the extent to which a very large majority of the American populace would buy into the idea of fairness and equity in the abundance process, so that everyone has access to abundance as and when they need it, and not attached to that idea, oh, that's a Marxist agenda or a socialist agenda. I honestly wonder whether a broad chunk of the American population and the Australian population and the British population and the French population can ever get their head around that. But that's where we're heading towards. And it's not a Marxist agenda. It is everyone pursuing their life of passion and purpose, which means everyone's off their ass. They're all doing their passion and purpose for the purpose of, contributing to the well-being of society and experiencing joy, love, abundance, freedom, health, success, many other of the adjectives, Jen, that you use to describe universal empowerment.
So what's happening, what's wrong with the world is the way they look at what's important. They look at monetary wealth as the only form of providence, right? So the way the adepts have explained to me how this works for humanity is like, actually, monetary wealth is just one form of abundance. There's health, there's gratitude, there's awareness, there's intelligence, there's family, whatever. And think of all these things as a clock. And these are numbers on the clock, wealth being at 12 o'clock. But your physical health, your peace of mind, your joy, and, freedom to express yourself, go on vacations, these are all different forms of wealth. So what humans do now is they fixate on wealth as if it was 12 o'clock, and they're all looking at 12 o'clock, and they're ignoring all the other forms of abundance. So they don't even give any credence to any other forms of abundance. So saying that, like, there's a lot of people, hard blue collar workers, who are given their vitality, they're not getting ahead, but they're like working and they're like caring for people and they're putting their love into people and they're caretakers. That's a form of abundance. And that's a form of abundance that is lost on a lot of people with just monetary wealth. So you need all these forms of abundance. And so that's why the socialistic understanding is so off, because it doesn't ascribe to people's virility, their passion, their ability to write and to get to the people, the leadership, all these different forms of abundance are not factored in.
Yeah, I think the rubber hits the road for a lot of people around the topic of social security. So the idea of raising tax for the purposes of redistributing that in a welfare state. I think that's where the rubber hits the road for a lot of people. And anyway, that's a topic for another day. But see, the thing is, sorry, can I just finish this? Under the aspiration of universal empowerment that we're describing, there might be those that are just for one reason or another not able to participate in their life of passion and purpose. But the whole idea is to empower 8 billion people on the planet to pursue their life of passion and purpose, pursue it, not sit on your ass, not get distributed, free handouts, pursue your life of passion and purpose, contribute to the well-being of, the broader collective. And in doing that, there is joy, love, abundance. And by the way, there was an important word, abundance, in the joy, love, abundance, freedom, health, success for all. That's the difference.
Yeah, but here's the frustrating part. I don't think I'm getting through yet. People listen to people with money because they say they can make the impact. But the workers, the ones who are actually building the houses, moving, the product and doing the hard work, they're more important than the people with money, because if they bow out, then everything falls. That's why unions are so important, because it gives a voice to those people who are not heard as valuable as those who give out the paycheck. I'm so frustrated
Well,
because you're not getting me.
no,
I'm so
I'm getting you
frustrated.
just, hey, listen, I'm getting you just fine. But I understand the psychology of the conservative end of not only the American populace, being a non-American, that's a bit weird. But, I understand very well what their mindset is. And let me just address the whole union thing. I think unions are great. They haven't had a good track record in the past. But what I would say is that the current union movement is way more operating higher consciousness than they were, let's say, one or two generations ago, right? So let me just put that on the table. And um, so to the extent that the union movement is, participating in the passion and purpose of, a broad part of the collective, all power to you.
Okay, but here again, if we had a room, and two people came into the room, a CEO of a company and a plumber, who would get more respect? The only time the plumber will get the respect is when your pipes are dented and you need him. But otherwise, the CEO can walk into any room and get respect. That's a problem. Someone like this asshole, Elon Musk, is getting respect and can say anything he wants. That's nuts, because he's built up this belief that he has more clout. This clout needs to be spread around. These assholes who are running the country, the world to the ground because they have more clout, have to be taken down so everyone's voice can be heard. Something like that. Don't poke a bear,
Some,
babies.
Something like that. But we are here to do a tapping event on justice for all. It is an important foundation of universal empowerment. It sits on the left or the right-hand side of self-accountability. Just by the way, we did deal with accountability trumps immunity a couple of days ago. So we're really hitting these tapping events from all angles. Jen, this is a tapping event. Can you explain to the audience how it works? And then perhaps we can get into it.
Sure. So I've written these affirmations, very, very poignant affirmations. I'm going to give you a statement to say. You're going to say it 3 times. We'll tap on the top of your head. A 4th time, we'll tap in your chest. And a 5th time, we'll tap in your abdomen. And we are going to actualize these taps into reality. All right, you ready? The tier system of justice is immediately eradicated in all moments.
The tier system of justice is immediately eradicated in all moments. The tier system of justice is immediately eradicated in all moments. The tier system of justice is immediately eradicated in all moments. The tier system of justice is immediately eradicated in all moments. The tier system of justice is immediately eradicated in all moments.
So this is why these SFT taps are so so important because you and I are having a difficulty even communicating on our understanding of justice or whatever. These tabs hit the nail on the mark and a little thing, and them together will shift the dial where conversations will just get convoluted and all over the board. Okay? All entitlement is extracted from the justice system in all moments.
All entitlement is extracted from the justice system in all moments. All entitlement is extracted from the justice system in all moments. All entitlement is extracted from the justice system in all moments. All entitlement is extracted from the justice system in all moments. All entitlement is extracted from the justice system in all moments.
I don't know if people understand that persons of color have this cross to bear in society that white people might not even understand. But if you could tap into this, Angela, try to tap into this and see if you were a black family and you had a little boy, little girl, same age as your children, and you had to sit them down and tell them, you can't act up like other people. If the police come to you, you have to just say, yes, sir. You can't be smart. You can't be yourself. You just have to say whatever they want and give up your power to them, or else they could kill you. And this is a conversation that every black family has to have with their children in America. I don't know, hopefully not around the world, but it's a hard pill to swallow if you can tap into that and how that's soul crushing for that little child. I actually saw this play out. I saw this big bunny in my backyard that I would feed, and it had a little baby bunny behind it. And this little baby bunny was hopping all around and cocky and everything, and just thought it was so special and so important. And the mother was more docile and just keeping her head down. And then I got a hit of understanding of the mother bunny knows what will happen, that there's a lot of predators who want to kill her. And she's just happy to be out and have, mind her own business. And this little bunny is so full of himself, he wants to meet other people, he wants to, whatever, act out. And he will learn what it's like to be a bunny and what it entails to be a bunny. And he can't afford to be so cocky with other predators and stuff. And so it really hit home with me about what happens with the black child who has to learn that they don't have the same voice that a white child has in some instances. Imposing stiff penalties on persons of colors is immediately eradicated from the justice system in all moments.
Imposing stiff penalties on persons of color is immediately eradicated from the justice system in all moments. Imposing stiff penalties on persons of color is immediately eradicated from the justice system in all moments. Imposing stiff penalties on persons of color is immediately eradicated from the justice system in all moments. Imposing stiff penalties on persons of color is immediately eradicated from the justice system in all moments. Imposing stiff penalties on persons of color is immediately eradicated from the justice system in all moments.
Cruel punishment is replaced with compassionate programs regarding the justice system in all moments.
Cruel punishment is replaced with compassionate programs regarding the justice system in all moments. Cruel punishment is replaced with compassionate programs regarding the justice system in all moments. Cruel punishment is replaced with compassionate programs regarding the justice system in all moments. Cruel punishment is replaced with compassionate programs regarding the justice system in all moments. Cruel punishment is replaced with compassionate programs regarding the justice system in all moments.
All scapegoating is eradicated from the justice system in all moments.
All scapegoating is eradicated from the justice system in all moments. All scapegoating is eradicated from the justice system in all moments. All scapegoating is eradicated from the justice system in all moments. All scapegoating is eradicated from the justice system in all moments. All scapegoating is eradicated from the justice system in all moments.
Cruelty is eradicated from the dispensing of justice in all moments.
Cruelty is eradicated from the dispensing of justice in all moments. Cruelty is eradicated from the dispensing of justice in all moments. Cruelty is eradicated from the dispensing of justice in all moments. Cruelty is eradicated from the dispensing of justice in all moments. Cruelty is eradicated from the dispensing of justice in all moments.
All blockages to justice coalescing with self-accountability are removed in all moments.
All blockages to justice coalescing with self-accountability are removed in all moments. All blockages to justice coalescing with self-accountability are removed in all moments. All blockages to justice coalescing with self-accountability are removed in all moments. All blockages to justice coalescing with self-accountability are removed in all moments. All blockages to justice coalescing with self-accountability are removed in all moments.
Self-accountability is implemented as a keystone for justice in all moments.
Self-accountability is implemented as a keystone for justice in all moments. Self-accountability is implemented as a keystone for justice in all moments. Self-accountability is implemented as a keystone for justice in all moments. Self-accountability is implemented as a keystone for justice in all moments. Self-accountability is implemented as a keystone for justice in all moments.
Justice is mandated from within in all moments.
Justice is mandated from within in all moments. Justice is mandated from within in all moments. Justice is mandated from within in all moments. Justice is mandated from within in all moments. Justice is mandated from within in all moments.
Justice is regulated through integrity in all moments.
Justice is regulated through integrity in all moments. Justice is regulated through integrity in all moments. Justice is regulated through integrity in all moments. Justice is regulated through integrity in all moments. Justice is regulated through integrity in all moments.
Skewed justice is eradicated in all moments.
Skewed justice is eradicated in all moments. Skewed justice is eradicated in all moments. Skewed justice is eradicated in all moments. Skewed justice is eradicated in all moments. Skewed justice is eradicated in all moments.
All power factions are removed from affecting the justice system in all moments.
All power factions are removed from affecting the justice system in all moments. All power factions are removed from affecting the justice system in all moments. All power factions are removed from affecting the justice system in all moments. All power factions are removed from affecting the justice system in all moments. All power factions are removed from affecting the justice system in all moments.
Justice, accountability, integrity, and compassion are four pillars of course correction in all moments.
Justice, accountability, integrity, and compassion are four pillars of course correction in all moments. Justice, accountability, integrity, and compassion are four pillars of course correction in all moments. Justice, accountability, integrity, and compassion are four pillars of course correction in all moments. Justice, accountability, integrity, and compassion are four pillars of course correction in all moments. Justice, accountability, integrity, and compassion are four pillars of course correction in all moments.
All portals that veer away from justice are closed in all moments.
All portals that veer away from justice are closed in all moments. All portals that veer away from justice are closed in all moments. All portals that veer away from justice are closed in all moments. All portals that veer away from justice are closed in all moments. All portals that veer away from justice are closed in all moments.
All psychic streams of energy that enable a course away from justice are dissipated in all moments.
All psychic streams of energy that enable a course away from justice are dissipated in all moments. All psychic streams of energy that enable a course away from justice are dissipated in all moments. All psychic streams of energy that enable a course away from justice are dissipated in all moments. All psychic streams of energy that enable a course away from justice are dissipated in all moments. All psychic streams of energy that enable a course away from justice are dissipated in all moments.
All forked roads in justice are eradicated in all moments.
All forked roads in justice are eradicated in all moments. All forked roads in justice are eradicated in all moments. All forked roads in justice are eradicated in all moments. All forked roads in justice are eradicated in all moments. All forked roads in justice are eradicated in all moments.
All self-indulgence of the corrupt is immediately eradicated in all moments.
All self-indulgence of the corrupt is immediately eradicated in all moments. All self-indulgence of the corrupt is immediately eradicated in all moments. All self-indulgence of the corrupt is immediately eradicated in all moments. All self-indulgence of the corrupt is immediately eradicated in all moments. All self-indulgence of the corrupt is immediately eradicated in all moments.
All propping up of the unjust is immediately eradicated in all moments.
All propping up of the unjust is immediately eradicated in all moments. All propping up of the unjust is immediately eradicated in all moments. All propping up of the unjust is immediately eradicated in all moments. All propping up of the unjust is immediately eradicated in all moments. All propping up of the unjust is immediately eradicated in all moments.
Maybe since we're doing these, I see Putin's hanging on to what happens with Donald to see if he can stay in power. And I'm seeing Putin's claws on the sacred buildings in DC. And I'm seeing this gnarly claw with a little hammer. I'm pounding on his knuckles and stuff and getting his knuckles off the claws of our sacred buildings. That's what happens in my mind, babies. All human of the corrupt in the justice system is immediately eradicated in all moments.
All humoring of the corrupt in the justice system is immediately eradicated in all moments. All humoring of the corrupt in the justice system is immediately eradicated in all moments. All humoring of the corrupt in the justice system is immediately eradicated in all moments. All humoring of the corrupt in the justice system is immediately eradicated in all moments. All humoring of the corrupt in the justice system is immediately eradicated in all moments.
Humanity shifts its paradigm from trafficking justice to being graced in it in all moments.
Humanity shifts its paradigm from trafficking justice to being graced in it in all moments. Humanity shifts its paradigm from trafficking justice to being graced in it in all moments. Humanity shifts its paradigm from trafficking justice to being graced in it in all moments. Humanity shifts its paradigm from trafficking justice to being graced in it in all moments. Humanity shifts its paradigm from trafficking justice to being graced in it in all moments.
Justice is a universal state of grace in all moments.
Justice is a universal state of grace in all moments. Justice is a universal state of grace in all moments. Justice is a universal state of grace in all moments. Justice is a universal state of grace in all moments. Justice is a universal state of grace in all moments.
Justice reflects universal self-accountability, sincerity, integrity, and compassion in all moments.
Justice reflects universal self-accountability, sincerity, integrity, and compassion in all moments. Justice reflects universal self-accountability, sincerity, integrity, and compassion in all moments. Justice reflects universal self-accountability, sincerity, integrity, and compassion in all moments. Justice reflects universal self-accountability, sincerity, integrity, and compassion in all moments. Justice reflects universal self-accountability, sincerity, integrity, and compassion in all moments.
All karmic conditions interfering with justice are rectified in all moments.
All karmic conditions interfering with justice are rectified in all moments. All karmic conditions interfering with justice are rectified in all moments. All karmic conditions interfering with justice are rectified in all moments. All karmic conditions interfering with justice are rectified in all moments. All karmic conditions interfering with justice are rectified in all moments.
Justice, like karma, is instant in all moments.
Justice, like karma, is instant in all moments. Justice, like karma, is instant in all moments. Justice, like karma, is instant in all moments. Justice, like karma, is instant in all moments. Justice, like karma, is instant in all moments. It's an interesting concept here. A lot of people wouldn't really think about karma as being that instant. Sometimes karma takes a lifetime to play out, but in the universal timelines of things, it is kind of instant because, as you remind, metaphorically, as you remind, us all the time that in the broader scheme of things, time is an illusion.
Absolutely. And the problem with it's not only could take a lifetime, it could carry over to other lifetimes. So some person could think they're really getting away with something. They're belittling others and they think they're getting away with it when the next lifetime they're inflicted into the hovel of what they've intended. So think of it this way: all the intentions that you put out for others are going to boomerang around the universe and come right back on you. I remember dealing with the conditions in this doggy rescue place, and all the dogs were like unloved and stuff. And I was telling this boy who was really having a hard time with it, and I go, I'd like to think that the dogs that are in here now were the same people who abused dogs in their people lifetime. And now they had to come back into this experience to to feel what they did to other beings, and that helped him deal with how bad he felt for the dogs. I'm not saying don't have compassion for the dogs. I'm saying have compassion for everyone, and hopefully the comeuppance is happening right under our nose. I think that's why Donald and Putin and others are afraid to to die and cross over. They basically know they're going to come back and have to answer to for their crimes against humanity, and they're terrified of that. All blockages to justice for all are removed in all moments.
All blockages to justice for all are removed in all moments. All blockages to justice for all are removed in all moments. All blockages to justice for all are removed in all moments. All blockages to justice for all are removed in all moments. All blockages to justice for all are removed in all moments.
All necessity for a third party to mandate justice is eradicated in all moments.
All necessity for a third party to mandate justice is eradicated in all moments. All necessity for a third party to mandate justice is eradicated in all moments. All necessity for a third party to mandate justice is eradicated in all moments. All necessity for a third party to mandate justice is eradicated in all moments. All necessity for a third party to mandate justice is eradicated in all moments.
All good old boy mentality is eradicated from justice by any stretch of the imagination in all moments.
All good old boy mentality is eradicated from justice by any stretch of the imagination in all moments. All good old boy mentality is eradicated from justice by any stretch of the imagination in all moments. All good old boy mentality is eradicated from justice by any stretch of the imagination in all moments. All good old boy mentality is eradicated from justice by any stretch of the imagination in all moments. All good old boy mentality is eradicated from justice by any stretch of the imagination in all moments.
Do you know how you can tell if men are skewed in how they treat people? It's how they treat the women in their lives. So if they treat the women in their lives like complete equals, then it's more of a chance that they treat other beings, other demographics as complete equals as well. Just one little gauge. All, all loopholes in receiving justice are immediately eradicated in all moments.
All loopholes in receiving justice are immediately eradicated in all moments. All loopholes in receiving justice are immediately eradicated in all moments. All loopholes in receiving justice are immediately eradicated in all moments. All loopholes in receiving justice are immediately eradicated in all moments. All loopholes in receiving justice are immediately eradicated in all moments.
Man's law is upgraded to reflect spiritual law in all moments.
Man's law is upgraded to reflect spiritual law in all moments. Man's law is upgraded to reflect spiritual law in all moments. Man's law is upgraded to reflect spiritual law in all moments. Man's law is upgraded to reflect spiritual law in all moments. Man's law is upgraded to reflect spiritual law in all moments. Jen, I think that tap needs a little bit of commentary. So when we're talking about man's law being upgraded to reflect spiritual law, we don't mean the law as described in the Quran or the
No,
Bible
definitely
or
not.
any other
No.
religious text. So keep the Bible out of the justice system, keep the Quran out of the justice system, keep any other religious scripture out of the justice system. What we're talking about here is true spiritual law. And, if you want to just think about it, a great way to reflect the idea of spiritual law is just good old-fashioned common sense, decency, integrity, honor, and compassion. Start there and we'll all be good to go. But keep the Quran and the Bible and any other religious text out of the justice system and out of politics, by the way, while we're at it.
Absolutely. And another really bad one that's come up in people's Akashic records is a Hammurabi Code,
Right.
which
Thank
is
you.
like, you want to say more about the Hammurabi Code, babies?
I actually don't know that much about the Hammurabi Code. I think you know more about it because it comes up in your private sessions more often than you would imagine, interestingly enough.
So the Hammurabi Code tries to base it on spiritual law, which says an eye for an eye, a hand for a hand. So they actually did the cruel thing of if someone hurt someone's eye, they would take that person's eye out. If someone stole, they would take their hand off. But it was based on the cruelty of man's perception of what was fair and just, and it was not. And it just got more and more perverse as time went on. So humans have to look at what has conditioned them in the present day society of how they've been formulated to get to the point they have. And the fact that there's so much war and hate and cruelty in the world tells me that humans have been programmed and conditioned that way. And if so, they can be unprogrammed and unconditioned and can be reverted back to joy, love, abundance, freedom, health, compassion, all those things. Compassion. If you want to do any spiritual work for yourself, take the initiative and show kindness and show compassion where someone else would say it's not warranted. And instead of feeling like a sucker or feeling like someone's getting away with something, realize that you are abiding to your own inner compass. I remember when I was like 18, living with a roommate. We were at this place, this parking lot, and this bum came up to her, and she was like more like highfalutin and stuff and proper, and she thought she was, doing the right thing in society. So this bum came up to us and asked us for money, and she like was dumbfounded. She didn't know what to do. And I took my pocket and I had like $1 and some change. I go, sir, this is all I have. Here, you're welcome to it. And it just shocked her. And she goes, and it changed her consciousness just watching that because it was a state of grace. And she goes, what if he's going to buy alcohol with it? I go, so? I mean, haven't you ever had a craving so bad you just need something? Who am I to, judge his craving or whatever? Or whatever. He asked for it, I had it, that's fine. And so that shifted consciousness. So more and more people can do those little things, acts of kindness, and pay it forward.
So a bit earlier, we were talking about the Hammurabi Code. This is an idea of, an eye for an eye, a hand for hand, that kind of stuff. It's a pretty brutal form of justice, um, but it does sort of then bring up the topic of the death penalty as, appropriate justice for certain crimes. How would one think about that? And by the way, having said that, I know that this is a deeply divisive topic, so just take it, that it's understood that it's a divisive topic, but it's an important topic to be addressed because we are talking about justice for all, by the way.
Well, I don't think I'd ever feel comfortable pulling the switch on someone else. I think that would be a karmic action where I would have to be responsible for that person some way down the line. So when you kill someone, what happens is in the future incarnation, that person will show up as your child or someone that you owe in a future lifetime. And and so just because a few people in the government can agree upon something, like we agree this person needs to be killed, all it does is it dilutes the karma with that person. You're still activating the death of that person, so there still will be a karmic blowback for that. It's just that will be diluted between a few of you who come to that agreement to kill that person. I don't personally think a person needs that responsibility on themselves. Like, okay, let's say someone who has, like one of these active shooters who guns down, children. There's a couple things going on with that. This person is unstable, their home life is unstable, they haven't gotten the love and their needs met, so they're frustrated. So there's this psychic buildup that way. And then the guns that they're able to get, guns, inanimate objects have a psychic pull to people. Inanimate objects want to be used for what they're created for. So if you give a child that is unstable and is like tapping into the intangible realms and these power factions, you give them a gun that has a powerful intention to be used in war and to gun down people, they might lose their will to the psychic energy of this inanimate object. It's much better to deal with the assholes who mandate that everyone have guns because guns make money for these CEOs. So I would rather give the death penalty to the grand poobah at the head of the NRA than the person who actually pulled the trigger.
I must admit, I've never been comfortable with the death penalty. We don't have the death penalty in Australia. Haven't had for quite a while. And the other So I've never been comfortable with the death penalty. My sense is that there is more about revenge in the idea of the death penalty than justice, but it's a
Yes.
complex topic.
And people at the lower echelon of life are being used as pawns. Have you heard of the concept of black on black crime?
Sure.
So what that means is those demographics who need more help are given more access to the guns so they can basically thin the herds. It's a horrific thing to even say out loud, but that's the mentality of allowing them to have the guns. Let them take each other out. Isn't that horrific? So when that happens and they're pawns for this intention above their pay scale, why should they be held accountable for that? Shouldn't they be taken out of that environment and given validation and love and kindness and respect and taught how to empower themselves?
But
It's
again,
just a
now we're
big,
we're
it's,
getting again into a complex topic, which is the topic of rehabilitation. And I'm wondering if this is kind of a little bit above our pay scale at the moment. We at the moment we're doing taps to engender the idea of self-accountability and the idea of justice being fair, equitable, and so on. But we're delving into very complex social issues.
but what about how would you justify prisons for profit? I don't know how you justify that. So that's really easy to get contaminated and corrupted. And then to have these intentions inflicted on these individuals just because they're going to be a workhorse to make someone at the higher echelon some money, it's an awful thing.
So I mean, there's a number of things to unpack in what you just said, but not to hijack from the tapping event too much. But let me just say this, the whole prisons for profit thing is all about privatizing what should be an institution or a government responsibility. And it's the original intent of privatizing a, a social service, it's all about money and economics. Now, then it gets distorted, and all sorts of other, really horrible things happen as a result of that. But the privatization of a social good or social service is, you know, it's run rampant and it's problematic. But again, this is kind of getting off the justice for all topic.
I don't think so. I think what we're doing is waking up these topics to be thought about because I don't think the average individual thinks about these things. They just put it aside, compartmentalize it, and don't delve into it. But the fact is, these things are all happening. And I personally think that the investment should be put back into the communities so that crime is not a factor.
100%. 100%. I personally agree with you. I think there should be a lot invested in prevention, and so that people aren't drawn into that. There needs to be a bunch in rehabilitation for those that do get trapped in it. But the challenge, and particularly in America, is that this is now delving into a welfare society, and this is getting back to the conversation that we had earlier. But it's something that the broader population, not only Americans, need to deal with. Is the true measure of an enlightened society is the way that it deals with the disenfranchised. And unfortunately, at
Right.
the moment in America, there is a very hard divide on that topic. And
Because, because one side of the aisle demonizes doing good for people and terrorizes them with the word socialism and Marxism, which is bullshit. Now there is I think there's a town or in California that pays the homeless, gives them an apartment and pays them to live there. And it's actually cheaper for the community to do that than to deal with the homeless crisis. Why can't we have more ingenuity in those ways?
These are very complex topics, Jen.
I know they're complex, but it doesn't mean we can't think about them because I think about them and I'm a nobody. So if I can think about them, everyone can
So,
think about them.
okay, so here's probably what does make sense for us, is to invite those whose job it is and profession it is to deal with, these kinds of issues, infuse into that the higher consciousness so that they can do their job to implement systems and structures that, conform or meet the requirements of universal empowerment. It's yeah.
Yeah,
Anyway,
but that's what we're doing by talking about it because it's not like we're gonna it's not like you and I are gonna take Donald out of the White House. It's emboldening Tim Walz and Kamala Harris to do their job. So by just talking about it, if it inspires one person in their lane to be more emboldened to do the right thing, then that's what these TAFs are doing. We're not in any way saying we're qualified to do anything about it. We don't know.
all right. So, for those of you that are out there whose job it is to think about and implement prevention measures, rehabilitation measures, and operate the justice system, think about some of these ideas. It is important that we infuse into these programs a degree of higher consciousness so that it can, it is fit for purpose. So anyway, let's keep going on with the tapping
Okay,
if you don't mind.
one more thing. In energy, you know how many ingenuitive ideas and purposes out there have been caught and killed? It's
Yeah,
almost like
absolutely.
I can see higher consciousness is is beating on the door. Everyone's ready for higher consciousness, but all these nefarious factions have put this glass ceiling on that happening with all this catch and kill of anything ingenuitive or wonderful. Look what they're trying to do to Taylor Swift just for being successful. It's think of that in all factions. That's what's been happening. Wake the freak up, people.
All right, let's move it on.
Right? Justice is unhinged from the concept or the desire for revenge in all moments.
Justice is unhinged from the concept or the desire for revenge in all moments. Justice is unhinged from the concept or the desire for revenge in all moments. Justice is unhinged from the concept or the desire for revenge in all moments. Justice is unhinged from the concept or the desire for revenge in all moments. Justice is unhinged from the concept or the desire for revenge in all moments.
Justice is upheld without privilege or favor in all moments.
Justice is upheld without privilege or favor in all moments. Justice is upheld without privilege or favor in all moments. Justice is upheld without privilege or favor in all moments. Justice is upheld without privilege or favor in all moments. Justice is upheld without privilege or favor in all moments.
All those who have been skating justice immediately get their comeuppance in all moments.
All those who have been skating justice immediately get their comeuppance in all moments. All those who have been skating justice immediately get their comeuppance in all moments. All those who have been skating justice immediately get their comeuppance in all moments. All those who have been skating justice immediately get their comeuppance in all moments. All those who have been skating justice immediately get their comeuppance in all moments.
Prisons for profit are immediately eradicated from the justice system in all moments.
Prisons for profit are immediately eradicated from the justice system in all moments. Prisons for profit are immediately eradicated from the justice system in all moments. Prisons for profit are immediately eradicated from the justice system in all moments. Prisons for profit are immediately eradicated from the justice system in all moments. Prisons for profit are immediately eradicated from the justice system in all moments.
Justice reflects the penalty meeting the crime in all moments.
Justice reflects the penalty meeting the crime in all moments. Justice reflects the penalty meeting the crime in all moments. Justice reflects the penalty meeting the crime in all moments. Justice reflects the penalty meeting the crime in all moments. Justice reflects the penalty meeting the crime in all moments.
Babies, I don't know if you realize this, but when I was trapped on that property by that sociopath, I would go into the experience of being in prison. So I really feel that foreboding feeling of being in prison. Here's a technique for everyone to use if they want to help people who are trapped in that foreboding feeling of being in prison. It's based on this African community. When someone does something, a crime, they take that person, put them in the center of the circle, and everyone goes around and tells them something good about them, what they like about them, and encourages them and raises them up. So if I know you can't do it to 8 billion people or all the people who are in a prison, but you can conjure up this circle of maybe us, maybe humans that are successful, and take each individual in a prison and put them in the middle of this and feed them the love and encouragement that they have lost along the way. And you can make that your own visualization to prop these people up and help them be whole because they're missing something to do a crime, and give it back to them in energy. And that could do more than probably the legal system. The injustice of mass incarceration is immediately eradicated in all moments.
The injustice of mass incarceration is immediately eradicated in all moments. The injustice of mass incarceration is immediately eradicated in all moments. The injustice of mass incarceration is immediately eradicated in all moments. The injustice of mass incarceration is immediately eradicated in all moments. The injustice of mass incarceration is immediately eradicated in all moments.
Babies, you know who loves to do the SFT tapping?
Who?
People who are in prison and they're like, feel like they're stripped of all their power. And so I'll have people write to me whose relatives are in prison, and they've started doing the taps and they feel emboldened, and they give them to their cellmates, and little groups of them will do the SFT tapping, and it'll really help them feel empowered.
Wow. So talk about rehabilitation. Maybe that's one of the more profound rehabilitation and cheapest rehabilitation programs that you could possibly envisage. So, if you're in
Yeah,
the if you're in the prison system and you're particularly in the social services end of the prison system and the rehabilitation side, seriously think about putting a SFT tapping program as part of your rehabilitation program.
absolutely. And I'm speaking for both of us. I think I'd help as much as possible to get that ball rolling, to help, because I can tap into individuals and see what their issues are, and like freak them out that, well, I do know them, because it's easy to know people.
That'd almost be a full-time job for you if you ever got um, taken up in that program.
All blockages to an upgrade in administering justice are immediately eradicated in all moments.
All blockages to an upgrade in administering justice are immediately eradicated in all moments. All blockages to an upgrade in administering justice are immediately eradicated in all moments. All blockages to an upgrade in administering justice are immediately eradicated in all moments. All blockages to an upgrade in administering justice are immediately eradicated in all moments. All blockages to an upgrade in administering justice are immediately eradicated in all moments.
Justice cannot be bought in all moments.
Justice cannot be bought in all moments. Justice cannot be bought in all moments. Justice cannot be bought in all moments. Justice cannot be bought in all moments. Justice cannot be bought in all moments.
The legal and penal systems are eradicated from administering injustices in all moments.
The legal and penal systems are eradicated from administering injustices in all moments. The legal and penal systems are eradicated from administering injustices in all moments. The legal and penal systems are eradicated from administering injustices in all moments. The legal and penal systems are eradicated from administering injustices in all moments. The legal and penal systems are eradicated from administering injustices in all moments.
The next tab is sponsored by Cindy. What's good for the goose is good for the gander in all moments.
What's good for the goose is good for the gander in all moments. What's good for the goose is good for the gander in all moments. What's good for the goose is good for the gander in all moments. What's good for the goose is good for the gander in all moments. What's good for the goose is good for the gander in all moments.
Justice is blind to monetary favors in all moments.
Justice is blind to monetary favors in all moments. Justice is blind to monetary favors in all moments. Justice is blind to monetary favors in all moments. Justice is blind to monetary favors in all moments. Justice is blind to monetary favors in all moments.
The scales of justice are indifferent to those with a silver spoon in their mouth in all moments.
The scales of justice are indifferent to those with a silver spoon in their mouth in all moments. The scales of justice are indifferent to those with a silver spoon in their mouth in all moments. The scales of justice are indifferent to those with a silver spoon in their mouth in all moments. The scales of justice are indifferent to those with a silver spoon in their mouth in all moments. The scales of justice are indifferent to those with a silver spoon in their mouth in all moments.
Accountability washes all stains clean in all moments.
Accountability washes all stains clean in all moments. Accountability washes all stains clean in all moments. Accountability washes all stains clean in all moments. Accountability washes all stains clean in all moments. Accountability washes all stains clean in all moments.
All white-collar transgressors receive their comeuppance in full in all moments.
All white-collar transgressors receive their comeuppance in full in all moments. All white-collar transgressors receive their comeuppance in full in all moments. All white-collar transgressors receive their comeuppance in full in all moments. All white-collar transgressors receive their comeuppance in full in all moments. All white-collar transgressors receive their comeuppance in full in all moments.
The legal system is mutually attentive to blue and white-collar crimes in all moments.
The legal system is mutually attentive to blue and white-collar crimes in all moments. The legal system is mutually attentive to blue and white-collar crimes in all moments. The legal system is mutually attentive to blue and white-collar crimes in all moments. The legal system is mutually attentive to blue and white-collar crimes in all moments. The legal system is mutually attentive to blue and white-collar crimes in all moments.
All white collars stained with crimes immediately get their comeuppance in all moments.
All white collars stained with crimes immediately get their comeuppance in all moments. All white collars stained with crimes immediately get their comeuppance in all moments. All white collars stained with crimes immediately get their comeuppance in all moments. All white collars stained with crimes immediately get their comeuppance in all moments. All white collars stained with crimes immediately get their comeuppance in all moments.
All assholes who have bypassed justice are immediately read the Riot Act in all moments.
All assholes who have bypassed justice are immediately read the Riot Act in all moments. All assholes who have bypassed justice are immediately read the Riot Act in all moments. All assholes who have bypassed justice are immediately read the riot act in all moments. All assholes who have bypassed justice are immediately read the riot act in all moments. All assholes who have bypassed justice are immediately read the riot act in all moments.
All assholes in denial of accountability receive their just desert in all moments.
All assholes in denial of accountability receive their just desert in all moments. All assholes in denial of accountability receive their just desert in all moments. All assholes in denial of accountability receive their just desert in all moments. All assholes in denial of accountability receive their just desert in all moments. All assholes in denial of accountability receive their just desert in all moments.
All blockages to universal justice being retroactively activated are removed in all moments.
All blockages to universal justice being retroactively activated are removed in all moments. All blockages to universal justice being retroactively activated are removed in all moments. All blockages to universal justice being retroactively activated are removed in all moments. All blockages to universal justice being retroactively activated are removed in all moments. All blockages to universal justice being retroactively activated are removed in all moments.
All assholes who think they are off the hook immediately are hooked in all moments.
All assholes who think they are off the hook immediately are hooked in all moments. All assholes who think they are off the hook immediately are hooked in all moments. All assholes who think they are off the hook immediately are hooked in all moments. All assholes who think they are off the hook immediately are hooked in all moments. All assholes who think they are off the hook immediately are hooked in all moments.
Shout out to Ivanka and Jared. All individuals are redirected to universal justice in all moments.
All individuals are redirected to universal justice in all moments. All individuals are redirected to universal justice in all moments. All individuals are redirected to universal justice in all moments. All individuals are redirected to universal justice in all moments. All individuals are redirected to universal justice in all moments.
All of humanity is centered and empowered in individual accountability in all moments.
All of humanity is centered and empowered in individual accountability in all moments. All of humanity is centered and empowered in individual accountability in all moments. All of humanity is centered and empowered in individual accountability in all moments. All of humanity is centered and empowered in individual accountability in all moments. All of humanity is centered and empowered in individual accountability in all moments.
All of humanity resonates, emanates, and is interconnected with all life in individual accountability in all moments.
All of humanity resonates, emanates, and is interconnected with all life in individual accountability in all moments. All of humanity resonates, emanates, and is interconnected with all life in individual accountability in all moments. All of humanity resonates, emanates, and is interconnected with all life in individual accountability in all moments. All of humanity resonates, emanates, and is interconnected with all life in individual accountability in all moments. All of humanity resonates, emanates, and is interconnected with all life in individual accountability in all moments.
Take a deep breath. That felt like a little bit tougher to do because it's where the rubber hits the road, babies.
The idea of justice and at the lower levels, the idea of what is an appropriate punishment for a crime and what constitutes a crime and so on, and how to implement all of that. These are complex topics. And here's a thought for you, Jen. You ready for this? For all of those that like economic responsibility in government, right? Which is one of the rallying cries of the conservative end of the political spectrum across the world, and particularly in America. We focus on America a lot. A lot of the rallying cry is accountability, economic accountability in government. So here's a good return on investment equation. Think about how much money is spent on social services, the justice system, and things like that, which is all about trying to correct with a limited amount of funds the dysfunction of society. All right. Think about how
Mhm.
much money is spent on that and how much is wasted on that. Why not put the effort into uh, overcoming the dysfunction of society, getting on board this idea of universal empowerment, allowing, 8 billion people. And by the way, we're talking about 8 billion people, not just Americans. And I'm going to come back to that topic in a second, but allowing 8 billion people to pursue their life of passion and purpose in pursuit of, perpetual joy, love, abundance, freedom, health, success. That is a fully functioning society. If you put your effort into achieving that, then all the money that is spent on social services, the welfare state, the justice system will go away. And I can assure you that prevention is way more economically efficient than restitution. So that's an interesting idea.
So what's interesting is, as you're saying that about like prevention, I'm thinking about Tim Waltz's very revolutionary thing where he provides lunches for children, lunches and breakfast for children all over the state. Now I've been one of those hungry children, so I know how that can change, the trajectory for individuals. And that one small thing, it can't be that more expensive than, sending someone to prison for the rest of their life. So those correction kind of things, people dismiss those things and say, oh, that's socialism. No, it's not. It's being kind, it's compassion, is even if it didn't make any difference, doing the humane thing and preventing suffering in the world is a noble thing.
So it's interesting. What you just described is a very tangible but very tactical example of what I was talking about. So,
Yeah.
it's a great example, but it's very tactical. What I'm talking about is at a much higher level of vantage point, and that is, and it's going to take a generation. I'm not saying that it's going to happen overnight. I have some ideas as to how to make this happen, by the way. But the idea of really engaging the better part of 8 billion people to tap into their passion and purpose with the idea of pursuing, joy, love, abundance, freedom, health, success in the service of the broader collective, that is the foundation that will then, make almost redundant the need for the welfare state, social services, and other things. Not to say that they'll never be needed. You do need a catching system, but that's the point that I was kind of making.
I know, but we're saying the same point. We're just saying it from different vantage points. And I can only address things from the understanding that I have. And so some people may not understand your overall view, and they may understand when I say it. So I think posting both points of view is important.
I wasn't disagreeing with that. In any case, I think I speak in plain English, so there's that.
Babies, it's like a different language to me.
I want to address the America versus for all 8 billion people. And again, for those that are very America-centric, the simple selfish response to this in favor of, having an eye on the prize for all of humanity, not just the 350, 400 million Americans, is that when you disenfranchise, as Americans, disenfranchise the better part of 7.5 billion people, uh, it'll come home to roost on you. And so you need to be careful about that.
Babies, but from my advantage point, it's like Americans do feel entitled and and are emboldened and stuff, and they have a bit of a selfishness that they don't understand. But from what I see in energy, America in itself, if it is the shining beacon on the hill, its responsibility is to pull everyone, all 8 billion people, up to that level of being on the hill with them. Not it's The point isn't to pull American down to the other level, which is what's happening right now. Is like everyone needs to be pulled up to a higher understanding of what's possible. That individual empowerment is pretty important for other people to get.
I don't think I said anything that would disagree with what you just said. The only thing that I would say is that the whole Make America Great Again, the whole MAGA end of that rhetoric, doesn't fit into what either you or I just said.
It doesn't fit into America. Making America great again is a racist statement. When was it great? When they had slaves? When they uh, denied women the vote? It's a racist statement. So Make America Great Again is established as a racist statement. Nobody wants that.
All right, moving on because we're getting in very dangerous territory here. The other observation I'd make is a lot of these taps about justice and justice for all were reaffirming what everyone understands the justice system should be operating under. And so, isn't it interesting that a lot of these taps were not about redesigning a new justice system. It was simply encouraging the justice system all around the world to operate in the way it was always meant to operate. The problem is at the moment there's a big gap and a divide between the way that it's meant to operate and the way that it actually operates. And so we're just bridging that divide. But we need to bridge that divide. That's important. But then we need to make sure that we keep the momentum around making sure that the justice system then upgrades to operate in higher consciousness.
And boiling that down, it feels like going into the penal system dehumanizes the individual. We're all about bringing humanity to everyone. So if there's a system that dehumanizes an individual, there's a problem there. And if it has to be done in energy first to make individuals whole so they don't feel like they're not even human, they feel like they're an animal in the way they're treated in the correctional facilities, that needs to be addressed. That's where I feel it, babies. I feel that, and it's painful.
But you're not saying that there's not a role for a penal system, right? Or
No,
are
but
you?
I say, oh, no, I'm saying that I see the correction places be more of of what happens when you cross over. When you cross over, you're given classes and lectures, and you're brought up in understanding, so you realize cause and effect. Wouldn't it be great if we could implement that where places people go are there to learn, not to get gang raped by other members and to be tortured, and the fear of going there is the only leverage that you have. No, if you're actually going to send someone somewhere, make it a place of education, higher purpose, and give them a means to make something of themselves.
I'm sure that there are those in the penal system who have that aspiration, and so let's hold that aspiration. It's not a completely new idea, but it's one that is replete with failures to implement. So I think the real challenge here is the implementation side. But I will agree with you that there is not a coalescing of the primary purpose of the
Mm-hmm.
penal system. So, this is actually just another great example. In all of this universal empowerment stuff that we're talking about, I always make the point that there needs to be an ongoing concerted conversation dialogue, across 8 billion people on the planet so that there is broad agreement as to the direction that we're heading. And at the moment, we're so polarized. And this topic of justice
Okay.
and the penal system is just another great example of that.
Okay, so how about this? The people who are listening to this and who have do visualizations as a form of prayer. visualize an upgrade to the penal system not being one where people suffer, but more looks like an education system, like a wisdom temple or a college, where, say, the people who provide food are learning to be chefs, the people who take care of whatever are learning and making the most of the situation and feeling empowered by their purpose there. Maybe gardeners, maybe whatever, but it's not about just retribution, because that's dead energy and there's a huge pocket of deficiency in that area.
100% agreed. Heady topics. Anyone on the call want to join us in?
I just been asking the question, where does the intersection of the individual and the justice system, and it has something to do with, and you've already touched on it in many different ways from many different angles, but the structures on the outside, are going to evolve as the individual, comes to grips with their own inner accountability. I mean, to me, that's the spiritual journey, is the accountability for every single lifetime I've ever had on this planet. And, certainly, I've said this on other sessions, having a session with Jen, that's a great way to see, but living your life and being accountable in a daily life. And when something really hits you in a deep, deep way, it's like, okay, that's a clue. And so our whole approach to empowerment and accountability in our individual selves is going to work hand in hand with the systems that we create later down the road, or tomorrow.
Yeah. So I think the aspiration is fairly clear to articulate. We do that a lot. The implementation challenge is, how do you bridge the gap between where we are now, where we're going to be, and the thing is that the timeline in the middle, for those that operate in the linear time and space, is going to be messy, right? So we need to transcend the messiness, and it's going to be a little bit chaotic. So you just need to understand that, but keep an eye on the prize, because if you lower your vantage point from the eye of the prize, eye on the prize, saying, oh, it's too hard, it can't be done, those kinds of things, then we're never going to get there. So I understand the implementation challenge very well.
Well, when you're describing kind of like your vision of like the new type of system, if like someone, commits a crime and it's more education, it's more, it's really cool because I can like be there and I can envision it really clearly. So it's like I can totally see us being there one day. And I really feel like, this conversation, it's really great that people are starting to have it, because it's like you're starting to question it and you're having society take a new perspective of not just following how it's always been. And when people upgrade within themselves and have more compassion and have less of attacking others for what they've done, and question, wait, like what went wrong, and why did, like, where in society did they get let down, or people in their life, where did they get let down? So they went to this path. Like, we need to educate and have compassion and look at the bigger perspective and the bigger picture. And I can definitely see that happening as people upgrade more and have that different loving compassion view.
Absolutely. Another visualization you can do is, in my private sessions, a lot of the trauma, like, it's easier to cross over and be at peace than it is to be incarnated. And the whole process of being born is traumatic. So what you can do is visualize, for someone who's having a hard time, go back to them when they were born and just nurture them and say, it's going to be okay. You're this, you're amazing. Remember where you came from. Remember all your gifts. And it's okay if mom and dad or the siblings don't see them, but I see them. If you can take an individual and you can see them at a higher vantage point, even if you're not related to them, you afford them the opportunity to see themselves through your eyes. So that's what I do with 8 billion people. I afford 8 billion people to see themselves through my eyes.
I think
Right.
the new prison system is already been implemented in Scandinavia and parts of Europe.
Is it? Like more educational and encouraging?
Yes, more empowering, more training people and seeing what their passions are.
Okay, thanks everyone for joining us again. Another great session. We got a whole bunch of these things coming up. Please keep an eye out for it. Look forward to catching you next time, and bye for now.
Bye for now.
Hi, and thanks for watching another one of our videos. All our content is available on social media and streamed in high definition, ad-free on the Jenuine Healing website. If you appreciate the work that we're doing and you love the content we're creating, please consider becoming a Jenuine Healing supporter. Simply follow the link in the description below, select your level of support, and know that your financial contribution is directly helping us continue our profound work in healing all of humanity, one soul at a time. Thanks for your support. Look forward to catching you next time, and bye for now.